Now, if we're going to go and make some changes to our background, we do not want to start After Effects or go find the After Effects project and double click on it. Instead, we need to go to the Premiere project where it's being used, select it, and always edit original. That's going to allow us to be working on the exact composition that's being used. It's pretty easy to have other projects, other copies, and so we want to make sure that what we change here is showing up over there. So if we wanted to, let's say, just change the color, we could select our layer here and say Layer Solid Settings and change them to some other color. So if I wanted pink stars instead, I could do that. I could go to the effect controls and slow it down a little more, scatter it a little more, make the size a little bigger. The fewer the stars, the easier it is for the data to be well represented in YouTube. So let's take a look at Premiere, and you'll notice that right away those changes are made. That's the power of the Adobe Dynamic Link. If we want to have a different background, instead of starting an entirely new After Effects project with the Adobe Dynamic Link and new After Effects composition, we can actually use this same project and just create a new one. So let's go to Composition, New Composition, and we'll call this one a Fractal Noise background because that's the effect that we're going to use. Everything else can stay the same. You can see that I have been making changes to the length here. So I've got it already at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm going to put that back because that's the next tutorial, is how to make your projects longer. So I'm just going to do a Fractal Noise background here, and of course there's nothing in the composition yet. So you have to have something to put the effect on. So we're going to say Layer New Solid, and it doesn't matter what color it is, because as soon as I do a search for the noise or fractal, don't do the virtual reality, we're not there yet. So let's just find Fractal Noise and add it to the solid. It will always look like this, just a black and white image that doesn't animate or anything. It's just the beginnings of using this effect. So we need to make some changes over time, which is the very definition of Fractal Noise's keyframes. So the thing that we're going to keyframe is the evolution. So it's right here under the effect controls, and I'm at the very beginning. So I'm just going to keyframe this at 0, 0. I'm going to go to the end, and I'm going to wind this around. So that is one full revolution. You can see the X has a 1 in front of it now. I'm going to wind this around maybe 4 times or so, and go back and watch it. Now it's trying to pre-render this, so we're probably not seeing it in real time. This isn't what it would actually look like in the video. So now that there's some pre-render, I'm going to go back and watch that, and you can really see how it's changing over time, just kind of swirling around. Now there are a lot of different kinds of fractals here, so we can just try some different ones and show you. Some of it has some pretty dramatic changes, and some of it may not look all that different at all. So just find a combination of things that you like. So here's one that's pretty interesting. This is max, and then you have 4 changes here. Like this is a block version of this fractal. So this can be a lot of fun, but rather busy. Linear. This kind of softens the edges. And then you have something called spline that really kind of makes it more blobby. And you can see it changing over time here. So if you want to have some color, we need to find something that is going to colorize this effect. So I can type colorize, or if you just type color, there are plenty of other things that adjust color and change text color, etc. What we're looking for are the things that will simply colorize this effect. Some of them are very involved. This one is an infrared, and it goes kind of crazy with a couple of colors, but it added a solid composite, a levels, and a hue saturation, making it kind of tricky to control what the colors really are. However, in this case, we do have a color block here that maybe we can just kind of slide down and maybe find another set of colors that would be kind of fun. But if you end up not liking this, you can't just go and delete these individual extra effects that were added under the effect controls. You need to be ready to Control-Z undo these things. So what I like to do is duplicate this layer. You have to go to Edit and Duplicate, or Control-D, and hide one of them so that I can then experiment all I want with colors, and if I totally get it all messed up, then I can just delete that one, go back to my original, and give that a try. So I've got it hidden here, and I'm going to use the gold dip here and just drag that on there. And it is another one that has a simple color control. There are some of these, Control-Z undo, that don't have simple color controls. So you got to be really careful what you're adding on here, but worth experimenting. I'm going to put the gold dip on there right away. Have a pretty bright, colorful animation for me to look at. Now, as you can see here, I'm at full resolution. Unlike Premiere that will automatically go blurry and then get sharp when you stop, we would have to tell it, I would like this to be at a lower resolution, allowing it to pre-render faster than we're actually watching it. So this is in real time. And so it doesn't matter if we pre-render, but we can go back and watch that again if we want to. So we got this swirling, oozing, bright gold background to work with. Now, how do we get that in Premiere? Because it's not automatically dynamically linked. It's something we added to the project. So let me show you the other way to get it. So we can Adobe Dynamic Link and import the new After Effects composition from the same one. So we go to My Documents and go to our Blender Animation Project folder, and you can see that I've got several of these here. Which one was it? Well, let's make sure that we're opening 305 Tri-Thingy Compositions Hicks. So try 302. If you go and rename these files, then it can definitely lose track. And actually, I can tell this is the wrong one because that second fractal noise is not there. So here's the one. So 305. That's one reason why just having one of these and keeping all the compositions in it does make it a lot easier. They'll just be listed right here. So I'm going to add the fractal noise, and I'm going to replace the one I had before with this new one. Now that's pretty busy composition there, so probably need to do something to fade that out a little bit so my model can remain the star of the show.